All right. Hello, waiting for Trivia Nation. My name's Jeremy, filling in today as the host because Justin Nickel, if you guys can believe this, there are people that occasionally pay Justin to do stand-up. And not only that, but they fly him to exotic and faraway locations like Prince George, British Columbia. So no Justin today. So this is going to be weird and awkward and strange. But we do have on the show, as always, the voice of God. He's the alien face in the logo. He's Mark Blumet.
Hey, how's it going?
Going real good. And then we have a very special guest co-host today. She joins us from a podcast called The Broadscast. They're talking hockey, they're talking Canucks, they're talking sports. It's Sam Chang, wherever side she's on.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, there she is. Hey, Sam. That's awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to have a good show today. We got lots to talk about. Sam's knows lots about hockey. She's also going to give tons of free legal advice during the show today. So that's going to be really all binding legal advice. You could probably sue her if it's wrong, which is awesome. That's what I love about Sam. She's so fiery about that. What else is there to talk about today? Right. We got the chat going on as always. So thank you to all the comics and all the weirdos that join our chat every single week here on the Waiting for Trivia podcast. Our mods today, once again, lovely Jess and Mr. Comedian JR. So thank you guys. We also need to start by saying be nice to the mods. Last week, some of you guys were getting a little testy with our mods. Remember, everyone who does this show is a volunteer. We have been demonetized and deplatformed so many times. No one is getting paid. So please do not yell at the mods. Yell at Mark, yell at me, but don't yell at me. You can still yell at Justin, but please be cool, be kind to our mods. So thank you so much. And if you are being a dick, you will be punted.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah, I just want to say hello.
Like that?
Yeah, we got Vera Bobo in chat. Hey, Vera, nice to see you. Got Pyra in chat, too.
Of course, Pyra's always on fire.
That's right. We got James. We got Spicy James in chat. So be good tonight, James. We're going to watch you like an eagle. Yeah. So James he's already kind of spicy. He's saying the show's not going to be the same because Justin is not... Justin made it awesome. So you're just looking for a band right now, right off the top, James.
No, I want to keep James even more. He's going to keep me honest, and he's going to keep me hungry. He's going to keep me hungry. But James, you're not wrong.
Make you work for it.
Let's start by talking about Sam on the show today. Sam comes to us from a podcast called The Broadscast. She said it was 5 hosts. You're down to 3.
That's correct. It's like 3 or 4, like sort of
fluctuates.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sam, right off the hop, let's just start with what is the Broadscast?
So the Broadscast is it started as a Canucks podcast, but I would really characterize it as a hockey podcast, and we've now also kind of branched out into F1. So it's kind of you
guys talk almost sports in general, right?
Yeah,
sometimes
we try to cover.
It's a big story.
Exactly. We try to cover all the stories. Like this week, we roasted Trevor Bauer and his attorney real good. So, yeah, we kind of cover all sports and things that are sports culture adjacent. And it kind of started as, do you remember when Brandon Leipzig's DMs got leaked last year? And they were
yes.
Yeah.
That was a spicy time.
Yeah, super spicy. And so we decided that we didn't really like the coverage that was out there, and that none of it was really focused from kind of a female fan's perspective. And so there were 5 of us in a group chat already, and we had never met in person. We just talked over Twitter, and we kind of thought it would be fun to do something. And we originally started out saying hey, maybe we should blog, and then realized that writing is a lot of work and that none of us actually wanted to do it.
Come on.
Yeah. So then we decided maybe we'll try a podcast because there's, not enough Canucks podcasts out there. There's only 2,000. So we figured we'll try it. And I think it was just the mix of the right timing and being something a little different. And it kind of blew up way bigger than we thought it would.
Yeah, but in a really great way. You guys just started your Patreon, right? To you want to keep the show free. You guys do put in a lot of work, and if you can get a couple of nickels after, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean we've done it. Our 1-year anniversary is in 2 weeks, which seems
right
kind of
on.
crazy. So we've done most of the year for free, other than selling some merchandise on Spreadshirt.
Yeah, Mock Girl
Most of
Summer.
Mock
I
Girl
was there.
Mock Girl
Yeah, that was
Summer.
awesome.
And most of the proceeds we donate to charities, mental health initiatives like Foundry BC, and then also the Downtown East Side Women's Center.
Yeah.
And we keep like 25% of the proceeds for ourselves.
Yeah, to buy microphones and bandwidth and
yeah. And like we don't have a voice of God producer, so we do it ourselves. Like we record every week, and then we all taught ourselves how to edit.
Nice.
And upload onto Spotify and everything like that. So it's a lot of free labor because we love doing it, but we had a lot of people asking for a Patreon and like content that we were saying we were cutting out of our regular episodes. So we figured we might as well give it a shot.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, if you need a producer, Mark's available. He produces podcasts. When you get budget, you let him know. He's great. Okay, that's awesome, Sam. Like the broadcast is, like you said, a very unique, and you're like a lawyer by trade, right? Like that's, when Sam wakes up, that's what you do. What kind of law do you do?
I'm a litigator.
I don't know what even that
Nice.
means. You just said words that sounded Greek or Roman.
That sounds awesome.
So lawyers either go to court or they don't. So I'm the kind of lawyer who goes to court.
Okay, cool. You're the fun one. The one I see on TV. I object.
Sort of. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
All right.
Sam, I have a question for you. Have you ever said in a courtroom, I ain't no big city lawyer, but have you ever opened with that?
I haven't, but now that you've suggested it, I'm going to add it to the top of my list.
The problem is, Mark, she's a big city lawyer.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. Because you need to wear suspenders, I think. That's the look. You have to wear suspenders to ingratiate yourself to the jury, right? And just say, I'm just normal like you. I ain't no big city lawyer.
Puts on her powdered wig and away she goes. Yeah. Cover the syphilis. It's awesome. Sam, I saw this is one that I loved the other day because only you could really comment on it. I wouldn't even have thought about it. It was it Brisebois from Tampa Bay Lightning? Yeah. And the guy was like talking about how he's going to go into accounting law or what was it? Tax law. And like, to me, if I'm reading The Athletic, that would have been a nothing throwaway moment of the article. But then you're able to go into that and have a whole take about it, which is awesome. You're like, wow, you actually became a tax lawyer. That took me a week to find out. It sucked.
I mean, tax law is brutal. I think I said it took me 10 minutes into the exam, but the truth is, like 3 classes in, I was like, I don't know why I'm taking this class. I don't understand it, and it's terrible.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I helped the super rich put their money in the Cayman Islands. Neat.
And it's also just super confusing. Like none of it, they're words, but they don't make sense.
I love the law.
Oh, they're all words.
Love the law.
All right. Well, Sam, I don't want you to do the broadcast twice, but I do have some hockey related questions. We'll start with sports, and then we'll move into the world of weirdness that me and Mark were able to track down over the week. Is this the time where we say like and subscribe? I mean, everyone that's watching the show at this point likes and subscribes. Right?
If you're watching right now, please hit like and subscribe. It's really important to us. It really helps us out. We really appreciate when you do it. Also, take some time to check out Sam's podcast, The Broadscast, and like, subscribe. And I don't know how expensive your Patreon is, but go ahead and listen to that podcast. And if you enjoy it, consider supporting them on Patreon.
There we go. Thank you for that wonderful ad, Mark. All right, that's what Mark does as well, Sam, and allows you to not do the advertising. It's amazing.
That's amazing because every week we beg for subscribers, like every week.
I know. So my favorite part of podcasting is the amount of time we spend begging people to listen. I was like, everyone who listens to podcasts has a podcast. You know what I mean? It's like we all just listen to each other's podcasts.
But it's also like, if I'm asking somebody who's listening to subscribe, shouldn't I assume they're already listening?
Exactly.
I don't understand what I'm doing here.
Every week I ask the only people that actually listen to this show to listen to this show. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Okay, Sam, off top. So me and my wife were sitting around, we're watching, Montreal and Tampa Bay, but really my wife is on her phone, more like checking out the broadcast and their hot takes. And she asked me about Nate Schmidt. She was like, what's up with Nate Schmidt and the Vancouver Canucks? Why are they fighting? And I had no idea. I was like, I don't know. So then she asked me to ask you, Sam, what's going on?
So there's been a rumor for a long time now, and by a long time, I mean at least a few weeks, kicking around Vancouver media that it really isn't working out and that he wanted to go somewhere else. And then there were,
Right.
I think there was a period where people were like really mad and they were like, Vancouver sports reporters are so terrible. They're just making this up, because it was like Jim Betting's one good move last year. So you had to hang on to it. And then Elliot Friedman reported yesterday that he is in fact looking to get out because he would like to win.
Well, no shit.
And so they're apparently looking for something that works for both him and the team.
Oh, nice. So yeah, Jim Benning's like, thanks, Nate. Yeah, we'll try to get you on Tampa Bay, you and every other player in the NHL. Like, what? So it's really just that easy. He just got tired of like didn't he know that they were gonna lose? Or I guess that's where he got traded, right? Wasn't up to him?
Yeah, when he was traded to the Canucks, they were just coming out of the bubble where like they had taken Vegas to 7 games. So and everyone thought that they were going to be really good, but really it was
not everyone thought. I think there was a few people in the media that were like, I don't think the Canucks are as good.
There were a lot of people who were misled by the bubble and Thatcher Demko playing completely out of his mind.
Yeah. And he still played good last year. So it's not like, it's just, you can't play, 950 hockey like forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
And so you also can't pay your bottom six $26 million.
Oh, please, can we not do that today? It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart when we start talking about the bottom six. Like, if they're not getting like freaking taken off the team for their weird hijinks in hotels, then they're just overpaid losers. I don't mean overpaid losers, but you know what I mean. They're having I'm not calling them losers. They're good people, I'm sure, but you know what I mean.
I mean, factually, they did lose a lot. So
they did lose a lot. Okay, so I feel bad for Nate Schmidt. He learned about losing this year. I hope he got a lesson and made him a stronger person.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen, Sam?
I think they'll move him and
for nothing.
Probably
magic beans.
Yeah. And they'll try to spin it as a great trade. I mean, somebody suggested today that they were going to trade him for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I was like, thank you for finding the one single move where Jim Benning could actually make the salary cap worse without signing someone. Like,
wow.
He has a special talent for it. It would be amazing if he did that.
I said you were fired up on the Ekman-Larsson rumors again today. And I saw that and I was just like hilarious. You were just like, guys, let's not do this again. But for me, the 3 people watching this podcast, why is that such a horrendous move for the Canucks?
I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say he's on the decline. Like, he's past his prime. He's got $6 million. He's got 6 years left at $8.25 million.
Oh, wow.
And
that sounds exactly like a Canuck to me.
28. I don't remember exactly how old he is. He's like 28 to 30, but like not really what they're looking for. If Jim Benning has said that they're going to be contenders in 2 years, I don't know why you're signing a guy who's on the decline.
To play with Edler.
Yeah.
Make Edler seem young.
Yeah. We're gonna win with a geriatric team.
Maybe.
That's the way to go.
I just, and there was a time when those rumors, I remember the last time they were trying to get him and I used to think, oh, maybe that would be a good move. But, I do agree that it's just like some of these guys, it's like, what's bizarre to me? And I don't know if you know the answer to this. I've always wanted to know. It's very clear to you. It's very clear to your podcast. It's very clear to a lot of people on the internet, a lot of the guys who write for The Athletic, the smarter guys on the radio. It's very clear to them. But it's not clear to the Canucks. Why? Do you think? I don't know.
I wish I knew, because then I might actually understand what they were doing.
Yeah. I think you would then get a job at the Canucks tomorrow. It sometimes boggles my mind when even it feels like the dumbest sports fan is yelling at the TV. It's a bad move. And it's almost like when you're watching a car crash in the slow motion, the rumors out there, you're like, that rumor's too dumb to be true. And then it happens. And you're like, what did I witness?
Yep.
Is there any players you think that might make sense for them to target in this offseason? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I'm kind of at the point where I think they should just eat it and like suck for 2 years and just play their rookies.
And just kind of play how they're playing right now.
Yeah.
Like even more than they have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they really haven't done it deliberately. And what they keep doing is.
Can I admire that a little bit?
Playoffs.
I kind of admire that they're trying. Like I like that Bo's got some hustle and Brock.
They're not like trying to win anything meaningful. They're just trying to like get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
But then
we'll
we
get
saw
in
with
the playoffs
Montreal,
and see
that
what
kind of
happens.
works sometimes. I think Montreal was bad for the Canucks.
Oh yeah.
Because Montreal is now every 9-8 team is like, well, we're Montreal. We're the next Montreal.
Yeah. And
All
just
right, well, let's
disregard
get
the
your
fact that they
reaction
were
to the
actually good.
Canadians then. What was that Stanley Cup run about for you?
I thought it was really fun. I love a good underdog story. I
Yeah,
thought that they have some really likable players, like Tyler Toffoli, super likable, Cole Caulfield, super likable, Nick Suzuki, super likable. They managed to make Corey Perry, who everyone hates, like kind of likable.
I think I said that last week on the podcast. I was like, I hate Corey Perry as a Duck my whole life.
Yeah.
Hate Corey Perry. Love him as a Canadian.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
And he's
And
still a dick.
Oh yeah. But there was just something about the run that was kind of fun. Like no one thought they would win. And I think they kind of took it as far as they could. But I thought it was fun.
Yeah. And then you roll into Tampa Bay. Like, what did people think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay was a pretty good story, of course. I do remember there was a time where, like, I guess some people believed Braden Point was like vulnerable to be picked off that team. Remember? I guess this was when he was a restricted free agent. And people were like, oh, teams should take a run at Tampa Bay and offer him the moon and they won't be able to match. I think either a lot of teams were regretting that or that was never really a thing. And Tampa was like, we will move Earth to keep him.
I don't know about him, but like, I feel like someone should have taken a run at literally any one of their players because they were so up against the cap. And the thing that drives me the craziest about the NHL is like, you have this mechanism to punish teams who are up against the cap. And instead of actually doing something about it, all the other teams refuse to offer sheet anyone because they're worried about how it will affect them down the road. And then they spend the rest of the season complaining about how Tampa's over the cap. It's like, okay, well, they didn't actually break the rules. So maybe you should have done your job a little better.
Yeah. Smash them, right? Take the players. Oh my God. Yeah. That was an incredible run. And it was fun, but Tampa Bay is just, I don't know. Do you think they're going to they got a shot next year? Like, could they be 3? It's so weird in the NHL. That's impossible.
John Cooper was trying to sell this story yesterday about how they were super motivated because, they knew they couldn't keep this team together. I think he's like kind of like bullshitting a little. Like, I think they're going to manage to keep most of the core together. And I think I think you have to go for 3. There's no way they don't.
Especially in the modern era, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Even though I hate Tampa Bay, I don't care about Tampa Bay. That's probably the best way to put it. Normally, I don't care. They have such incredible players. It forces me to care. Like, obviously, I could watch Braden Point play hockey every day forever, and I love it.
Can you believe he dropped to the 3rd round?
Yeah. Like, what's his name? Vasilevsky. Yeah. I can't even say his name. I got my Invisalign in. I can't say any words. Yes. Just his goaltending was like, I don't know, the most next level.
Yeah.
It was him. And I can't believe, like, Carey Price played out of his mind, and then someone was like, "Oh, hold my beer," It just was so crazy. Mark, what's our next story that we got ready to go here? Was there another hockey take that I missed?
Well, there's actually the first story we'll be covering will be a hockey story, a little bit tangential, but just a couple of comments from chat here. JR says, one of our mods, by the way, he says, Canucks have some serious issues. Sorry, Canucks fans. They don't even know what they're doing. If Sam knew what to do, they would not hire her because that would make too much sense.
Yeah, there would be the Canucks would never hire Sam.
So what I should do is pretend like I have no idea what's going on. And I'll have a better chance of being hired.
You're like, I think we should trade Nate Schmidt for Ekman Larson. And then Sam, you're hired.
Yeah.
First day at the job, not doing
That's an interesting suggestion. I've been going about this the wrong way.
Just kind of stumble into the building, tripping over, and just knock things over, and then tell them you want to recruit soccer players to play hockey, and then when they hire you, then you actually start fixing things. I think that's
Sam Chang, the Ted Lasso of the Canucks. Let's do it. All right, what do we got next, Mark?
All right, guys. So first story is actually an NHL story. And I forgive me, Jeremy, I may have played with the article order a little bit, so I don't want to pop any surprises on you. But the first story, NHL hired TikToker Josh Richards, who says, fuck the Habs on his first day.
I thought this was such a... at first, I guess it kind of makes sense. I could see how the NHL just took a very side glance at trending topics on Twitter and was like, oh, TikTok, that's a thing. Let's hire a kid. Sam, did you see this story at all?
Yes.
Did you guys talk about it on your podcast?
I think we did talk about it very briefly, but
Yeah.
mostly I think I just lost it on Twitter when they hired him.
Yes, I did see that. You were just like, what is this about? What is this? This is like, is this just like some marketing guy who just was walked in at 9, was like, hire a TikTok star, I'm done, and left. And he was like clocked out.
I think someone took a look at this guy, was like, he's from Toronto. He used to play hockey. He kind of looks like he could be a hockey player right now. And he has 2.5 million followers on TikTok. So let's just go with that.
Yeah, that's a tap in.
And you know, that's fine. That's fine. But like, then don't tweet out that he's the voice of the fans. Like, how is your one voice of the fans a 19-year-old white dude who runs a podcast with Dave Portnoy on Barstool, who's he's 44. This guy is 19. And like their podcast is called BFFs. Like, what is happening here?
Oh,
I don't understand.
I didn't know he was a Barstool guy. I had no idea.
That is incredible.
And
yeah, I thought the little bit of content I've seen from him is not for me. But Sam,
you didn't enjoy when he like put his
I'm 41
on Instagram.
Yeah, like I want him as a BFF. Don't get me wrong. I'm 41. I want a 19-year-old BFF. But it wasn't for me. I didn't relate.
Hold on. What did he do, Sam? What did he?
He was on an Instagram live in April, and he apparently pulled his pants down and like put his ass on his phone. Like,
wonderful.
And gave everyone like a real up close look at his ass.
Oh, like he got in there like a doctor, like that far in, or what happened?
I have to confess, I actually didn't watch the video because not really my thing.
You've seen one, you've seen them all.
Exactly.
Sam was on a work computer. I can respect that.
Exactly. IT blocked it. So Pyra says, the sooner you hire the TikTok guy, the sooner you can go for your 25 martini lunch. I think Pyra's on to something there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need, Mark, to get our subscription up. We need a 19-year-old with 2.5 million followers to just give us a thumbs up.
Sam, are you on TikTok, Sam? Do you do like a bunch of social media?
I am on TikTok. Like I watch TikTok videos sometimes, but I don't make TikToks.
Same thing. Isn't it funny when like every time I say I'm going to go check something out on TikTok for 5 minutes, I'm there for like 4 hours?
Yeah. It just keeps
TikTok
going.
is like that, man. TikTok will drag you in.
Oh, it's the ultimate dopamine hit, like constant just dopamine. So
15-second jokes, 15-second jokes, 15-second jokes is incredible.
And I know they also kind of like anybody that does their first, we talked about this before, but if you're a comedian or a media person that goes on TikTok, the first time you do your videos, you're going to get a lot of attention. You're going to get a lot of likes and a lot of views and all this stuff. And I mean, it's been pretty much revealed that TikTok does this on purpose. They either algorithmically kind of put you in your first videos in a very positive queue where you'll be seen.
Oh, that's smart.
Or they have probably a million bots somewhere, just watching TikTok videos. So, I mean, they've really figured it out.
I like that a lot. All right, after our TikTok star. Oh, sorry, Sam.
I said that makes a lot of sense. That's smart.
Yeah, totally.
I can't always. The beauty of Zoom is like you can't always. The people like talking. You're like, what?
I mean, it is turning our brains into Swiss cheese collectively, but they're really killing it. And TikTok actually, you can monetize if you're a content creator on TikTok. They do streaming now. They do all sorts of stuff. I mean, there's a guy who makes Subway sandwiches who's probably clearing like $1 million, net every year. So.
Not us though. We get deplatformed right. We start talking.
I have really, instead of going to law school, I should have just foreseen TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Tried to make so many regrets. Sam.
All that studying for the LSAT. You could have been dancing that whole time.
I know. really dropped the ball here.
Mark?
Alrighty, so this sorry about that. So this next story here is a little bit odd. So it was recently I
was like, this next story is a little bit odd. Well, Mark,
they're all because I'm just happy you guys are not talking about hockey anymore because I don't know anything about hockey and I just want to talk about weird stuff that's going on in the world. So here we go.
Normally, Sam, we would need Justin and have Ty on the show to talk puck. So you got definitely the B team of the sports crew today.
Oh yeah. You can't count on me for any actual hockey information, but this next article was interesting here. Apparently, so it was the 4th of July, for our friends down south where they were celebrating their, their America Day. What do they call it?
Yeah. 4th of
Independence
July.
Day.
Independence
There we
Day.
go.
Oh, yeah. Remember the
I was
movie.
like, what was that Tom
The
Cruise
movie.
Born on the 4th
Yeah.
of July.
Yeah. By the way, the president in that movie gets into a jet and starts fighting the aliens. It's amazing. But
This is Mark's dream.
hey,
Could you imagine JT getting in a fighter jet?
I don't want to score a goal for like Team Canada, during the Olympics. I want to fight aliens in an F-18. That's my
That would
big
be
boy
way
thing.
more cool.
Oh man, I mean it's just so much more fun. Anyway, so this story, us here, we do have here in Vancouver lots of fireworks. This year was definitely a little bit more muted, a little bit more reflective for our Canada Day. But in years past, I don't know what neighborhood you guys live in, but there's the fireworks everywhere, just on Canada Day, and in the U.S. they also set off a bunch of fireworks.
They love it
on Independence Day. So this one gentleman in L.A. apparently had something like 5,000 pounds of fireworks in his house.
That is an arsenal for a small army, right? Like there are countries that don't have as much explosives as this guy had in his house.
Probably, yeah. And it was discovered, and the LAPD showed up to dispose of. And if you see the pictures here, I mean it's really incredible. It's just crates and crates and boxes of fireworks that were just sitting around this guy's house. Anyway, so the police show up to confiscate it, and they have a special truck to dispose of the fireworks. And I'll play the video here, actually.
Yeah, play the video. This is crazy.
So this video here. So we see the truck, and the police kind of messed up here. So I'll just replay that again. They put all the explosives on the explosives truck, but I guess they did not do it properly because they actually exploded the explosives truck into a million pieces. So that was a very eventful 4th of July, I'd say, for that street.
Now, here's the thing for the people on that street is apparently it blew out windows for what, a block or two around it as well?
Oh, yeah.
And it sent people to the hospital.
Absolutely.
Sent people to the hospital. Could you imagine you just woke up that day, it was another day for you, and then the police are the ones like, normally you're used to, the bro down the street that you got to call the police on because he's making your dog stay up all night, and it's the police smashing out your windows.
Well, you know what the craziest thing about that was? I don't think it was in the article you sent me, but I saw the same story somewhere else. They're like pinning it on the guy who had the explosives stored. They're like, oh, it's his fault that like they were all detonated that way. And it's like, you put 5,000 pounds of fireworks in a truck and blew it up. It's not the dude's fault.
Yeah. I guess it's his fault for having the illegal fireworks, maybe, I guess.
They were not his anymore, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, and Sam is a lawyer. I mean, she'll speak to this.
You're
right.
The police Sam's a lawyer. You sound like a lawyer, Mark.
Yeah, I thought that was a great argument, Mark. You should be the lawyer.
Perfect. There you go. So I'm gonna go take my LSAT tomorrow. But yeah,
Sam's gonna go on. You take Sam's job. Sam will go on TikTok.
I mean, we look identical. That's the other thing. So we're
all buds. Yeah. We won't even notice.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of it was in the LAPD's possession, so I think it's the LAPD's fault at that point.
And do we just put this story in the bin of American stories of people inappropriately blowing stuff up? Like we won't put it in gender reveal bin, but there is a greater trend in the United States of people being very inappropriate or idiotic when it comes to blowing stuff up, because I feel like in our 13 episodes since the show is back, I feel like every other week we have a inappropriate explosion story.
I think you could make like a special category for like police inappropriately blowing things up.
I would love that. Oh
that. Yeah. I feel like Sam might be Mark's new favorite guest. He seems to speak his language.
Yeah, I watch those those videos of like on YouTube, and everybody, it's like lawyers telling people like how to deal with the police. Like, just don't talk, don't say anything. If the police ask you any questions, just shut up and call your lawyer. So I love that stuff. I think this guy.
Advice.
I'm sorry, Sam.
Good advice.
Oh yeah, don't say anything to the police, right?
Maybe that's gonna be Sam's next merch shirt. Don't say anything. Call me. All right, what's next up, Mark?
All right, so this story is very odd, but I mean, has this been a long time coming? So, it looks like in Norway, they are coming again, and this is a legal issue again. So they're coming.
Oh, I like this. This is going to work for Sam. I like Sam's
Exactly.
take
Maybe
on it.
Sam we can have some actual legal commentary on this issue. So, Norway has actually put into law a new, a new rule or a new law, if you will, that if you are caught as an Instagram influencer, if you are caught photoshopping your pictures or altering your image in any way, you will be sent to jail.
Kind of. If you take money for the post.
And if you don't say that you were photoshopped.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, none of them say so. I mean, and I agree. I think there should be no arrest. No, I mean, there should be an arrest, but no court. You know what I mean? They should just go bring them straight to the prison, and habeas corpus, all that stuff. Just never mind. We just like bang,
Direct to
into
jail. Do
Yeah.
not pass go. Do not.
That's right.
It's like as soon as you hit post, you just vanish.
Before we kind of maybe get into maybe what Sam thinks, if this is even a possible thing to enforce. Like, first off, I don't even know how you begin to enforce it, but this will not become a law until the King of Norway lets it be one. And I guess there must be a constitutional monarchy, but I'm just finding it more and more bizarre in the year 2021 that we need to wait for the king or the queen or the governor general to like give us permission to have our law.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird. First off, like Norway's a modern country. Okay, so Sam, the influencer posts their picture. They're going to sell, I don't know, makeup. They change their appearance, I guess, in a way that's counter to this law. Like, I guess you can make a law about anything, but like, that sounds like the kind of thing that would just be challenged immediately.
I don't actually have an issue with like requiring influencers to
Disclose,
say when they've photoshopped themselves, because I think
Yeah.
it's so out of control now that I think it does negatively affect the way especially like younger girls look at themselves and like the
And
way
there's
they
a lot
think
of
they have
science
to look.
behind that.
Yeah, so I totally understand the rationale behind it, but I feel like sending them to jail is a little bit extreme.
That is extreme. Like, we're trying to take people
No.
out of jail, right?
Straight to jail.
Like, we're even taking crimes we used to put people in jail for and being like, actually, we're going to not do jail for that anymore. But I think we hate influencers so much. We're just like murder, violent crime, violent assault, influencers, jail.
Yeah. I would have been like, you should take all the money you made from that post and like donate it to some kind of body positivity charity or something. But like jail feels like a lot. For
do
like,
you think this
using a
will
filter.
affect a lot of influence? Do you think that is like a lot of maybe mainstream influencers do that? I don't know. I don't know a lot of influencers, I guess, but seems like it's obviously a problem enough. They feel like they need a law.
Yeah, but also like you said earlier, how are they going to enforce it? Like, does it only apply to Norwegian influencers? Like, are they going to send like the Norwegian army to go arrest Kim Kardashian?
Oh yeah, I'd love to see him try. That would be
understand
adorable.
the scope of this rule.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to me, it feels more like we're smashing on influencers in this case and not protecting young people on social media. I feel like if it was about protecting young people on social media, we'd do a far more efficient and careful way. This to me just feels like, no, let's smash on influencers because we all hate them.
Yeah,
but we don't. We love them because we follow them, right? It's so weird. We're a weird people.
Twisted relationship.
Totally.
It is like I think we hate follow a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's become a marketing tool now. Like hate clicks are probably more powerful than actual like clicks.
I think we've talked a few times about going full troll on this show. It's the only way to get
It's
views.
the only way. It's the only way. And I mean, coming from the marketing world, I can tell you that the power of influencer marketing it's more powerful than even we understand. Like it's that powerful. That's why these guys make so much money. Kim Kardashian's little sister, is it? No, it's not Khloe. It's
Kylie.
Yes. So she's a billionaire now for just being an influencer on Instagram, pretty much, right?
Well, it started as she took her influencing, was able to, she owns corporate companies, right? Like I think that's really where her billions come from.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, there's like a top 5% rule where only the very, very top of any domain actually make tons of money and really make a living. but the ones that do have just a sick amount of influence, enough so. Just based on the analytics of it, enough to pay them this money and enough to make up laws to prevent them from doing this stuff. The other thing, have you guys, have you heard of the site called Reddit? Reddit, the front page of the internet.
On the World Wide Web.
It is on the internet, yes.
Okay.
So there's a great subreddit called Instagram Reality, and it's kind of like the worst offenders of people that have kind of modified, through Photoshop or other apps, their appearance. And it's awesome to see because sometimes with influencers, they try to make their waist very, very small and their hips very big. And behind them, it looks like they're bending reality or like they're time traveling or something because.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they
because it takes the background and warps that too.
Yeah, it's very bad Photoshop. So if anything, maybe to counter this, we should be offering Photoshop classes to influencers just to do kind of like a reasonable
That's part
job.
of their community service. It's like you also need to take some Photoshop because it's terrible. I do the influencers in the wild. My wife, Coral, turned me onto that one. And it's just influencers like fucking up their stage shot. You know what I mean? Like,
it's hilarious.
It's funny.
Well, they're all around Vancouver. I don't know if you guys just walk around downtown a little bit. And
I see them all the time.
All the time now.
You know when they had those flower installations downtown?
Oh, that must have been out of control.
There was between Thurlow and Burrard.
On Robson.
On Robson, there were 3 different floral installations on one block. And literally the entire block was just like one giant line of like super dressed up people taking photos.
But let's shout it out to whoever's ever in the marketing at downtown Vancouver business. That person got that one got bones out by the boss because I was like, oh, you scored a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I worked.
Not only did you have Sorry, I was gonna say. Not only did you have the influencers, you had like people watching the influencers.
Oh yeah, my friend was down there, and she took pictures of the people taking pictures, and it's just like, what the f? I used to work at Granville in Georgia, and there was always stuff set up, either at the art gallery or in that little plaza by Nordstrom, and so there was always lineups of people there to do their little pose or whatever. And I was, I'm actually really chill about most of that stuff. Like I get it. I'm like, cool. And we built we build it for people to take their pictures at, right? So, and then I always have a hard time, when the influencers like take their picture and they fall off a cliff or something and you like want to do jokes, but then you're like, that's not funny,
Yeah.
It's always a hard one. You're like, you're dumb. You deserve to die. Well, no, maybe not. It's like,
but it's really tempting.
Oh God, I want to, but my general rule now is just like if no one died, it's game on.
Yeah.
All right,
that's a good rule.
I wanted to ask Sam about this too. This is what I love. This before we get into the stories, we'll go back to Sam, personal Sam. So when I first kind of discovered even the Broadscast and Sam was like, it began with like drama on Twitter of people like mad at Sam for something. So I didn't know who Sam was. And I was like, what is this Sam chick up to? She is always causing fights or something.
And
then all that happened was that I just absolutely love Sam demolishing idiots on the internet. And I love it. I love it. It's like literally like why I found Sam and I follow you and like, oh, I gotta have Sam on the show because you handle it really well. Maybe that's you being a lawyer. Like you always are up high, but it's devastating.
I don't feel like I'm always up high, but I'm glad you think so.
The language you use, you know what I mean? Like you are, like you're not like I don't know. Let's say like I'm like Sam, you're a dummy. Ekman Larson's the greatest, whatever. I'm gonna be like you dumb bitch, blah blah blah. You wouldn't be like, hey, Nick Beard in your fucking '80s jersey, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't go there. You know what I mean? You don't go there.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, see, to me that's what a lot of men do. Like they'll go like Sam, I don't like your take on Ekman Larson. And you'll be like, well, here's why you're wrong. Ekman Larson's terrible for these reasons. And then my next thing's like, well, you're a woman. You don't know what you're talking, you know what I mean? Like you go low, right? Like you go dumb.
Yeah.
You don't.
I love that you think so. I have this conversation.
You. If you did, I wouldn't follow you.
We had this conversation actually on the Broadscast last night when we recorded. And I was saying, it makes me happy when people tell me they enjoy it because like 90% of the time when I hit send tweet, I'm like, God, you're so fucking annoying. Like, why are you tweeting this?
No, you're an angel sent from heaven to destroy morons.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I love the art of rhetoric on Twitter. If you just like
Yeah.
cutting someone up.
Sam, are your bros with like Jenna Fabulous, right, on
Yeah.
Twitter?
Yeah.
She posted the other day, it was like someone else's question, but she answered it. I would love to ask you this question too, if you have a thought on it. And it was like a viral tweet. I don't know if you answered it on Twitter or not. I know Jenna did. And it was like, if you took over the NHL and could change 3 things to make it better, what would you do?
Ooh. That's a really good question.
And a lot of people had joke answers and serious ones, but
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, I would fire Gary Bettman.
wow.
Uh-oh.
Well, now everyone loves you.
We're
You
demonetized,
brought
by the way.
everyone back now, Sam.
I just got an email from YouTube. We are demonetized. Thank you, Sam, for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
No problem. It was Gary.
Hey,
Gary's
Mark.
watching.
Mark, it happened later in the show, though. We don't have Justin. We were able
We're
to get
doing better.
over
We're doing
halfway
better.
without getting demonetized.
Um,
Okay, number 1, fire
I-
Gary Bettman.
I would implement an actual sexual violence and domestic violence policy, which they still don't have in the year 2021, and I think that's
Right.
shameful.
Oh, I know you've been talking lots about the Blackhawks.
And I would implement diversity hiring requirements, because the NHL's hiring is like, hey, who's that dude I played with 20 years ago on that random team? I think I'm going to hire him.
Yeah, but okay, Sam, slow down. How am I going to get a job if I can't just lean on the guy I knew 20 years ago playing beer league? Come on. You want me to go to school and work?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
You could go on TikTok.
There you go. Jeremy could start dancing for a living.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of comments here, guys. And by the way, you're watching Waiting for Trivia with Jeremy Baker tonight and Sam Chang from the Broadscast.
Justin Nick will be back next week.
He
You
will be
guys,
back
don't
next
worry.
week.
Don't worry. James. Justin will be back next week.
He's doing a show in Prince George tonight, and he tweeted to us.
Killing it. Sold out.
yeah.
The armpit of the world.
Yeah, it's.
Don't get Justin started. He has a love-hate with Prince George. They keep
I
hiring
did
him.
too.
Yeah,
I did
they
a
keep
3-week
him.
arbitration there.
Yeah.
3
They
weeks
keep
in
hiring him.
November.
What's in November?
I did a 3-week arbitration in Prince George in November, like 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Incredible.
a lovely. It's a
When
lovely
you're still
place.
alive, so that's amazing.
3 straight weeks in Prince George.
Yeah, the Bears and the Cold didn't get her, so
Yeah.
here she is on our show. Awesome. Did you get to see Mr. PG, the big log statue,
Yeah.
dude?
I did.
It's the only reason to go there.
All right. Let's see.
Comments, right? Sorry, comments.
So JR says, "Yeah, I like Sam's take. Make them pay that profit to a cause for body positivity."
All right, we're going back to the
We're
Instagram
going back
story.
to the Instagram, guys. Yeah, they can still Photoshop. Vera was asking, what? They want to jail people for using Photoshop? That's not quite it, Vera. You weren't listening. Let's see. And they're talking about the charges here. Jay says, I really don't think they could make the charges actually stick for this Instagram stuff. Probably what would happen is a fine. I mean, I think they should go straight to jail. So, I mean, I don't know about
I
you
mean,
guys.
honestly, when I get arrested by the Norwegian police because I like Photoshop all my pictures, I'm hiring Sam to keep me out of jail.
I want a team of Norwegian
I'll
frogmen.
be in jail too for photos.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we have
I
a
was like,
lawyer
We'll just
now.
both be in jail.
I'll call Sam, and in the cell beside me, I can hear the phone ringing. The cops will be like, "Good move there, Jeremy. Good
Yeah.
lawyer."
No, we'll tell the cops. It's like, oh, you arrested me? Good. Wait till you meet our lawyer. You fucked up, Mr. Police Officer. And we have someone referring, I think, to your Twitter prowess, Sam. The Georgia Twist says, that sounds like Sam with a heart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's great.
my co-host.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wonderful.
Well, thank
It's
you
great.
for finding our show and supporting Sam. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it also brings back, of course, my original point. Only people that have podcasts watch podcasts.
That's right. It's and they all support each other's Patreons. We're not
No,
on
that's-
Patreon yet. We got some ways to go, but
we gotta get
we're
above
working
what,
on it.
20 viewers a show
Yeah.
fresh mark. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, we'll get there slowly but surely.
Sam, thank you for being part of the show, by the way, considering we have no viewers and you have 1 million and you chose to come on this hour. So
I
thank
love
you.
it. This is super fun.
I thank you for doing it. That's awesome.
We are just
All right, what time are we at, Mark? Are we doing okay?
we got about 13 minutes left, so I don't think I'm going to be able. I'm just going to let the chat know. I don't think I can talk about UFOs today, guys. So I know that
You know what?
the-
Talk about
What?
Roswell?
the
We can't talk about we got to talk about Roswell.
Well, it is the anniversary of Roswell, but I want to talk about this article because I don't know if you
Okay,
guys know
one more
about.
story and then maybe aliens just for James.
All right, all right. So I mean, I'm sure you guys have read Vice and their wonderful headlines, and I think this is probably the
I
most.
love Vice and their headlines.
It's probably the most Vice headline ever. So here we go.
I don't even read the articles half the time in Vice because the headline is so pure.
So, Vice News says researchers got a bunch of fish hooked on meth for science.
For science.
I feel like you probably could have made those conclusions without getting the fish hooked
I
on.
mean, yeah.
Like, do all these fish live in Chilliwack? Like, what's going on?
I mean, how much of a stretch would it be to think that if you gave fish a bunch of meth, they'd get addicted to it? I feel like they could have just extrapolated to that, not actually
Okay.
tested it.
I want. Oh, go ahead. I want to know how the scientists came up with this idea. Like, how did you?
Because they get a
decide-
bunch of meth, Sam. It's awesome. They get the government meth. A little bit falls off the back of the truck every time. You know that.
Yeah, it was the fish were addicted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the fish were
Fish.
addicted to meth.
Yeah, they're saying
Now,
trout.
there was a scientific reason, right, Mark? Like deep down, they wanted to learn something, wasn't it? Like sewage water or wastewater?
Yes.
Because in Vancouver, like all the orcas and otters are half cut most of the time.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's something we've been hearing kind of like as a rumor and as a weird fact for the last couple of years where they test like groundwater and city water and they find like alarming amounts of hormones because of the contraception pill that gets, they say they find hormones. And often they say they find cocaine, straight up cocaine or trace amounts of cocaine in groundwater in city water. So I think they wanted to go next level. They say here in the article, experiments with meth-exposed trout reveal that the fish can display signs of addiction and withdrawal symptoms that could result in unexpected ecological consequences.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, here's the $1 million idea, Mark. Don't steal it because I'm going to do it. We got to come up with a machine that can mine water and mine the cocaine out of the water.
I mean, I don't know. They do that with salt on the coast, I think, right? They kind of gather seawater. Yeah. So yeah,
sea salt. We'll have 100% pure Canadian sea cocaine.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And
where am I at, Sam, legally? Where am I at legally, Sam? How much jail time am I looking at?
I mean,
I can't give you free legal advice on this show.
All right, Sam.
Not your lawyer.
Let's talk later.
Exactly. Yeah. In the after show.
Sam also wants to give me 20 grand for 5% of my company.
Yeah, we'll Shark Tank this sea cocaine idea. I don't know how far that's going to go. So yeah, I mean, it looks like a legitimate study. Science is going to science. I mean, these guys are very educated, way more educated than me. So who am I to question if a bunch of scientific people want to give trouts a bunch of meth? I think more power to them, as far as I'm.
Mark, this is the bad news about not having Justin here. Justin will be back next week. We don't know who the special guest. I won't be here next week. It'll be Justin solo again, and I'm getting my second vaccine shot. Woo! Sam, you got all yours?
I got both of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting my second one next Thursday.
I'm
going to be invincible.
I had no side effects. It was great.
Oh,
I hope I'm like good. Sam. Yeah. I want to be Sam. You're so inspiring. I want to have also no side effects.
Well, apparently
that would be ideal for me.
Vitamin D. If you feel bad, apparently vitamin D.
Justin will be
really
back
helps.
next week. We are working on a co-host. I think it'll be someone from the Vancouver stand-up comedy scene, probably, right? Mark, maybe Sam Tonning. I'm saying Sam Tonning confirmed, not confirmed.
Yeah, we haven't asked him yet, but we can confirm that Sam Tonning will be co-hosting the show next week.
We'll have one more comedy brawl coming up at the end of July. Well, not we, but Justin and the rest of the comedy brawl team will have one at the end of July, and then it's going to be Champions Night at the end of August. At the end of August, comedy brawl, the House of Comedy on Columbia and New West. End of August, every winner from the past 8 comedy brawls. So it's all winners the whole night playing down for the Ultimate Championship title. That's the end of August comedy brawl at the House of Comedy in New West. Last story. We don't have Justin here. We didn't do Billionaire Beat. We didn't do Conspira Fact, but we have a little bit of Conspira Fact, right?
We sure do. We sure do. Do you guys want to talk about haunted paintings or UFOs?
Whoa. Haunted paintings is good too.
Yeah.
I think, Sam said Roswell, but I don't know. What do you want, Sam?
Roswell.
Paintings or Roswell?
All right. So UFOs. So I'm glad. So Sam, now I will just guess that you completely believe in UFOs and you're just on board, right?
She's
With
a
the whole.
believer. That's
Yeah.
why we booked her.
Yes.
Perfect.
Right, Sam. Man, Sam is going for Mark's favorite guest.
I
She's
mean,
going for it.
and Sam right now is setting a great example. I don't appreciate, especially in the chat right now, we often get conspiracy theorists that say things like UFOs don't exist, like there's nothing to UFOs. So I don't want to hear any more crazy talk from our audience or anyone in the chat that says that UFOs are not real. Sam confirms it now.
Fact.
Conspira fact. So. In that vein, it is a great anniversary in the world of UFOs, guys. It is actually the anniversary today, to this day, in 1947, the Roswell crash happened. The famous UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico, which was kind of like the nexus, if you will, of the UFO movement, the modern UFO movement. And I mean, as the legend goes, if you don't know what Roswell is, on July 8th, 1947, a rancher found a field of debris. Something had crashed on his ranch.
Stop. I thought this was the anniversary of the WB show, Roswell.
No.
That's what I thought too.
Sherry Appleby, are you kidding me? She's an angel.
All right.
This makes me so happy. I don't know anyone else who watched Roswell. This is great.
Sam, not me, but my wife Coral, and now I know so much about it. Sam, you and Coral would be buds.
We should be.
All right.
Okay, you guys talk amongst yourselves. Mark, tell the story. I'll be right back.
I mean, I don't appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to have a serious conversation about, the potential of extraterrestrial visitation. So
that's what the whole show is about.
Was it about that? I never watched the show.
Yeah, like the premise was like they were the
They were the aliens.
They were the aliens from the crash.
Yeah.
Just like
That's
going
Mark,
to high
like
school.
the show.
I guess I need to watch
And
the
so
show.
like they were dating like humans. It was great.
It was awesome. Yeah, there's but they're also high school or college aged, and there's relationship. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was the best.
Okay, the reason I ran away, I wanted to show you guys my Roswell collection, show and tell on the show. That's a postcard from Roswell.
Hold it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that so you visited Roswell, Jeremy?
No, I did not. My grandma and grandpa, my mom and dad went, and my wife, Coral, like Sam, huge Roswell, the CW or WB show. What was it? WB, that one?
I think so.
I think it was WB. It was
it was before the CW. And so my folks were in New Mexico or wherever, right? Roswell, New Mexico. So Coral was like, oh my God, you have to bring me back Roswell stuff. So my parents go to Roswell. They're like, that town sucks. There's nothing there. The only things there are like kitschy, horrendous tourist things that sell fucking bullshit. But they bought a bunch and we love it. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I mean, crashed in Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell is kind of a commentary on the UFO movement a little bit. It's kitschy, it's commercial, and it's to sell cheap merchandise.
But it's delightful. So, okay, sorry, Mark, I totally distracted. Did you tell the story of the alien crashing?
I don't know if I want to talk about it anymore because
now
you guys are talking about shows.
You
got your coasters, you got your stickers.
No, Jeremy, go. Tell us the real story now, Mark. Story time with Mark.
Right. So in Roswell, Jeremy's, in-laws went over there and grabbed a bunch of coasters and stickers and brought it back for him, and that's what happened. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. All right. So in 1947, July 8th, 1947, supposedly in Roswell, New Mexico, there was a crash of a supposed alien ship. A rancher found a debris field that was very, very large, and apparently some kind of vehicle or ship with aliens that had fell out of it and were passed out on the side of it. And he reported it to the police. And soon the military showed up. First
mistake, right, Sam? Talk to the police.
Oh my God, that's what he did. So yeah, we need to bring Sam on a road trip to Roswell just to teach these people about luck. So they have no idea what they're doing. The army soon showed up, and they apparently just swept the whole thing up. And the next day, that's kind of the curious thing about this case, because usually when there's a UFO sighting, a serious UFO sighting, it is denied roundly by the government, by the U.S. Department of Defense, and all these people. They refuse to acknowledge that these things happen. But the next day, in the newspaper, the local Roswell newspaper, they actually published that the Department of Defense had in its possession an alien craft. They put that as a front page in the newspaper.
Okay, here's what's up. I'm a reporter for the Roswell Daily Beagle. Population 47. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm leading with aliens confirmed discovered. You know what I mean?
Hey, come on. Well, just to kind of put the cap on this story. So yes, I mean Roswell, New Mexico is a it's kind of like a tourist trap now, where they have little restaurants and little gift shops and all this stuff where you can get all, this.
Have you been, Mark?
I have not been, but I do want to go. Absolutely.
When we get our Patreon, we'll do the show live from Roswell one time.
Dude.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna do. I would love to do an alien.
Maybe we
trip.
can form a nonprofit, and then the Broadscast could donate to us.
Oh yeah. Just alien road
Like,
trips for the
alien
whole.
research.
Women's Sexual Hell, Downtown East Side, 3 bros on the internet will be one of their charities.
Oh, I mean that sounds like it's going to be really successful. But here in Roswell, they
So dumb.
every year they do what they call here an abduction parade. So some people who are familiar with the alien question will know that one thing that is being reported from all this UFO stuff is that people claim to have been kidnapped or abducted by aliens. And in Roswell, every year people put on their Sunday best, alien best, and have an actual parade. All the supposed alien abductees get together and parade down the streets of Roswell, New Mexico.
I want to go there so
Do
badly.
you think they were actually abducted, or were they the fish that were like injected with meth?
Hey, actually, you bring up a good point. Maybe from the aliens' perspective, we're the fish that are,
We're
what
the
I mean?
fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
We've been hooked on meth.
Yeah. 'Cause-
The aliens just want to see what happens.
Well,
Just
I
wanna see
mean,
what happens.
if you look at it kind of coldly, it doesn't make much sense. Like with all the how many kind of abductions are reported and all this stuff, it really doesn't make much sense that alien are visiting here, because they're kind of assholes if you look at it.
If you think I've said that on this show before, if aliens really are real, like, help us
do something, please.
do something.
Save us from ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can you take over the Vancouver Canucks?
we're not doing too well, so do something. But I just wanted to share that with everybody. So please spend some time today in your prayers or in your thoughts. Put the city of Roswell, the origin, the nexus point of the modern ufology movement. Tip of the hat to Roswell, New Mexico today.
Awesome. Way to go,
Awesome.
Roswell, New
Yeah.
Mexico. All right, so let's go. It's a school night for Sam. We got to let her go, man. She got to go to work tomorrow. Actually, so do I. I work again. Woo! Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being part of the waiting for trivia. Do we have any comments? We should go. We're done.
Yeah, we're about done, but I want to stand. James is asking for the haunted painting story, so we'll do that next
Of
week,
course.
James. Yeah.
James, we'll save that one with Justin. That'll be a good one.
Oh, JR says exit through the Roswell gift shop. Exactly. Yeah. Pyra says I love tacky souvenirs. Yeah, I do too. So.
Maybe I'll do more show and tell on the show then.
But we do want to thank all of our audience for watching us tonight, and we do want to thank our mods, JR and Jess. You guys did a kick-ass job moderating the chat. Thank you for keeping the conversation
Thank
going.
you, JR and Jess. You guys do it all the time.
Absolutely. And we are live here on YouTube every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. So catch us live here. Hang out with us in the chat. But we do also put out clips almost every day, every couple of days on our YouTube channel. We do put out clips, kind of the best moments of the show. So please catch that. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to like our videos. It really helps us a lot. And remember to check out Sam's podcast, the Broadscast, and they are on Patreon. So I think we'll put up some links for you, Sam, on our Facebook page. If you want to check her out, they have a great show. So please check out.
When is the one that you guys recorded airing? Did it come out today or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Comes out
So
tomorrow.
you guys are Fridays. Always Friday? Yeah.
Yep, always Fridays. Unless sometimes I'm the one editing and then I'm really slow. And then
What do you guys edit on? Do you guys use like Adobe Audition or GarageBand?
we were using Audacity and GarageBand.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
I think then there was the whole thing about how like Audacity might be like secretly spying on you. So now we're like looking for something different.
Whoa.
But if you can find it, edition, man, I love it.
I didn't know about that conspiracy. That's a new conspiracy for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the new one for Mark. And
I'm
he's
gonna
like,
go
"Uh-oh."
research that right after the show.
Do you use Audacity, Mark?
I used to use Audacity. Absolutely, it's a
Oh,
great
yeah,
editing
yeah.
program.
But now Mark loves that shit, Sam. So he's gonna be looking
is
that
awesome.
up so much.
Mark, I want to hear all your conspiracy theories.
I have a
So,
lot.
yeah,
I have
he's
a
got a
lot.
lot. Mark's a
Yeah.
good time. You
Yeah.
know what? We'll drag you out one time to the live show, Sam. Mark doesn't do doesn't perform, but he's always in the audience and he's
Perfect.
fun to drink with. So it's always cool.
I'll be there.
Sam, thank you so much for taking some time and hanging out with us today. That was really
Thanks
awesome
for
of you
having me.
to do that, and that was awesome.
That was really fun.
Do we have anything else to say? Do we just say goodbye now? You have anything to say, Sam?
I want to thank the mods for not letting Vanessa Jang bully me on the comments. I noticed that none of them got through, and that is amazing.
Oh, that's so good. All right, you guys, thank you so much for viewing. I'm off next Thursday, and you got a Justin solo show. We're going to be working on a stand-up. I think we're going to have someone from the stand-up scene with him, whether it's one of our favorites like Byron Bertram or Shane on again, or perhaps it might be Sam Tonning or who else are we talking about? Amber sometime, Katie. I don't know. There's a bunch.
We have a lot of great comics planned for the next month or so. We're going to have some amazing shows. But I want to thank Sam for joining us tonight, and catch us live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific, here on YouTube.
Bye. Bye.